Stephen Greer claims that before Trump is inaugurated, we will have alien disclosure. He made that claim about a week ago, and as of right now, we haven't seen any aliens. This doesn't mean that nothing is going on with the revealing of these entities. Biden's national security advisor made an odd claim at his last day at the podium, which some people are saying could be connected to this UFO phenomenon.
One last word, which is, I hope this is my last time at this podium, at least for a little while. I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean, the only thing that would bring me back is an unexpected event in the next few days, which, as you all know, is totally possible given everything you've seen over the course of the past years.
Every day, we are getting more information shown to the public that something unknown is happening in our skies. A Pentagon whistleblower just came out saying he has worked on the retrieving of UFOs and he has video to prove it. We'll look at his story in a bit, but first let's look into Stephen Greer and his disclosure claims, as well as some of the extremely odd things he's a part of to try to contact these entities. There's really no bigger grifter when it comes to the UFO community than Stephen Greer. For years and years, he's been making massive claims with zero evidence to support any of it. Stephen Greer is actually a very dangerous person. Looking into exactly who he is, you'll find he's more of a teacher of New Age spirituality than anything to do with solid UFO evidence. Before we look into that, first let's look at his recent claims about UFO disclosure coming before the inauguration.
Right. Does this disclosure happen next week? And if it does, how does it happen? When it starts happening, how will we know?
Well, it'll be all all over the news. It's good to see you again. I just heard about an hour ago from the, we call the NOC, he's non-official cover aerospace intelligence community, a senior operator from one of the key black sites, two black sites out in the western United States. And they are preparing to do this next week. I don't have an exact date.
So if we don't have absolute alien disclosure before the inauguration, which is in just about a day, I hope people will realize that Stephen Greer is a massive grifter, profiting off of people with his lies about UFOs and the evidence of aliens. Looking deeper into who Stephen Greer is, it's worse than just massive claims that never come to fruition. We actually see that he's more of a spiritual leader of New Age spirituality. This is of no surprise because the Bible tells us this is the type of things that will be happening in the last days. Now, the Spirit expressly says that in latter times, some will depart from the faith, giving heed to deceiving spirits and doctrines of demons. Let's take a look at Stephen Greer's website and see the kinds of things that he's teaching. Under the Expeditions tab, you can see Preparing for Making Contact Library. When you click on the Making Contact tab, you'll see a lot of different information about how to contact alien entities. Under the Coherent Thought Sequencing section, it says this technique involves entering a state of heightened consciousness through meditation, and then projecting images with your mind to show any nearby ET visitors exactly where you're located on the Earth. Under the meditating section, it says that meditating is central in making contact, and Stephen actually provides recorded guided meditations and different frequencies that you can play that help you to contact these entities. This is absolutely a form of witchcraft. For the low cost of $99 a month, you can get Stephen Greer's app and learn how to contact these entities from the comfort of your own home. The CE5, or Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, actually coming in contact with these beings. I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but CE5 Contact app is Stephen Greer's app, and it says, CE5 Contact provides instructions and tools to assist you in making peaceful contact with extraterrestrial civilizations, as well as locating others in your area who are interested in making contact. The CE5 protocols were developed by Stephen Greer, and they help you to initiate peaceful contact with interstellar civilizations. When looking on the App Store at his app, you can see that 90% of the reviews are complaining about bugs and the app not really working. but a few comments come through where people have actually made contact with entities using his CE5 protocols. I really didn't expect it to be so easy to do. After playing the tones into a walkie-talkie for 10 minutes and meditating for 20 minutes, I was pretty surprised to hear distinct vibration that can only be described as precision electronics. I definitely saw and spoke to someone on the back of my eyelids. Although I should have prepared something more professional to say, after an awkward silence, the connection was lost. Very cool, Doc. I'll get good at this before long. I had an encounter and it was very interesting. This morning after I downloaded the app, I did a few minutes of mindfully playing the tones. Now at night, I looked outside my window and saw an orb. I asked to prove if it is what I think it is. It moved up through the tree and disappeared. It was very interesting. I was sure that I would see them, and I'm looking forward to have close encounters with them. This is the third time that I've encountered different phenomenon. So exciting and blessed. If aliens existed on another planet, they would not care at all about human beings meditating and somehow come to them when they're doing these practices. The same way two human beings can't contact each other through meditation, it makes no sense of that happening with alien beings. This is exactly what the occult does. They summon things, they get together in groups, they meditate, listen to tones. This is practicing New Age spirituality. It's just a form of witchcraft, and that's why when people are practicing these things, they're summoning entities, they're not summoning aliens from another planet. In this video here on Stephen Greer's YouTube channel, he's got a group of people who pay him, some people say $200, some people say up to $1,000 to meet with him and get together and practice meditation. Listening to the video, they talk about opening your chakras and sending your energy out to the ETs, and then these lights appear off in the distance. And while this could definitely be a manifestation of some spiritual entity, because that's what they're drawn to, that's why people on his app are having these experiences, some people have pointed out how these look exactly like flares. They light up for about 3 minutes, which is the average time of a flare that is used. So some people say that this encounter was set up by Greer himself and he had someone go set these flares off over the ocean. But either way, the point is that Stephen Greer is practicing New Age spirituality, meditation, energy healing, channeling, all these different things that are really the doctrines of demons, and people really need to steer away from this 100% because this is a very dangerous spiritual path to go down and your soul is in danger if you do any of these things. In that same video where Stephen Greer said that alien disclosure is coming before the inauguration, he once again made a massive claim with zero evidence, like he's done for almost a decade, where alien beings have been retrieved and they're actually living in subterranean, underground military bases.
Oh, sure. I mean, there have been non-human extraterrestrial civilizations that have been observing the planet for thousands of years, and it increased remarkably once we detonated the first atomic bomb. There's no question about that. In fact, this particular team coming forward have dealt with the remains and on occasion living non-human life forms that have been downed, and some are still in captivity in subterranean facilities or STIFs.
If Stephen Greer thinks that these entities can be contacted through meditation, I wonder why these aliens underground aren't meditating and contacting their friends on their home planet and having them come beam them up out of the military base underground. It's very obvious that Stephen Greer has been lying for years about his contacts within the intelligence community. Massive claims about UFO disclosure, downcraft, just claim after claim, which never comes to pass, and he has no evidence to ever prove any of it. And so it's pretty important that we realize that within this whole topic, he's absolutely a liar, but most importantly, he is a spiritual deceiver, and people really need to stay away from his spiritual practices that he's teaching. Now, just because Stephen Greer has been caught lying time and time again, that doesn't mean that everything going on with this UFO subject should be cast away.
Confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
The Bible prophesies that great deceptions are coming in the last days, that really look like they're connected to this UFO phenomenon. Fearful sights in the heavens, the powers of the heavens shaken, all power signs and lying wonders deceiving people away from the truth. It's clear that the main outcome from this UFO disclosure will ultimately be not that just our governments have been lying to us knowing that these things exist, but that since they exist, the God of the Bible is not real. If the public accepts that aliens exist on another planet, they will think that evolution is definitely how humans were created, and more advanced, further evolved species exist in our universe and have been visiting Earth for a long time, maybe even creating humans. The book of Genesis tells us God created man in his own image and gave us dominion over creation. If these more advanced entities exist, they are more powerful and intelligent than us. They would have dominion over us. This does not align with what the Bible tells us about mankind or about creation as a whole. But we are told that angels rebelled, and these fallen angelic beings have a higher understanding than human beings and can also operate in the heavenly realms, just like what we witness with the lights in the sky and the orbs that people are seeing all around the world. 2 Timothy 3:16 tells us that all scripture is given by inspiration of God. If we believe this is true, then we have to trust in the creation story, and nowhere within this do extraterrestrials on other planets fit in at all. What does fit in is the fallen angels that we're told about and their deceptions, as well as the fallen entities that are coming upon the earth in the last days. This is what fits in with the whole UFO phenomenon, nothing to do with evolved beings on other planets. The Bible tells us verse after verse that towards the last days and all throughout Earth's history, there will be blind guides leading people astray, false apostles, false prophets, false teachers, people teaching different doctrines, and this type of thing will happen all throughout the earth in many different ways to lead people away from the truth of Jesus Christ. It's kind of the main highlight of the whole doctrines of demons thing. So as we head into the future and all this information is coming on the scene, we really need to be on alert, trust in the Bible alone, because all scripture is breathed by God, and if we believe that, it's the word of God and it has the final say over everything that takes place in the earth, even if what you're seeing with your own eyes goes against what you think it says. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth and be turned aside to fables.